He was barely on screen. It wasn't his voice. There was something familiar. But still, most of us didn't see it coming. The mask comes off. The frontman reveals himself. He doesn't overplay. He lets the silence act for him. And when he speaks, the world tilts toward him. Already a legend in Korea, a masterclass in acting, this is Lee Byung-hun.
안녕하세요, 이병헌입니다.
He's known for his trademark perfectly aligned and bright white teeth.
그거 조절하는데 힘들어요.
Why are you so mean?
Fluent in English, he was one of the first Korean actors to break into Hollywood.
Just got here yesterday night, and I have to go back to Baton Rouge right after this premiere.
An outpost in Afghanistan.
He was the first Korean to ever present at the Academy Awards. And he's an actor with a rare gift. Regardless of the genre, no matter the script, he makes it his, in a way only Lee Byung-hun can. Effortless, precise, genius. Koreans call it demonic talent, out-of-this-world performance. He dazzles and makes everything so believable.
선생님은 왜 그러는데요?
말해봐요. 저한테 왜 그랬어요?
내 자신이 설득이 안 되면 관객들은 절대로 설득을 못 시켜요.
Among all his remarkable performances, this one in particular stands out. In I Saw the Devil, Lee Byung-hun plays one of his most unforgettable roles. A man consumed by vengeance, walking the fine line between justice and madness. The violence is almost unbearable to watch, but that's precisely the point. The discomfort is essential to the film's emotional impact. He pushes his revenge to its breaking point, only to be met not with peace but a devastating emptiness. Even to this day, the scene stands as one of Lee Byung-hun's most haunting, explosive performances, a scene where his pain, rage, and despair collide. It's the kind of scene that only works when the director fully trusts the actor. And he did. Co-star Choi Min-sik later admitted that just seeing the fake blood made him feel sick. That's how intense and draining this film was for them. Lee Byung-hun delivered a searing performance that left a lasting scar on Korean cinema. Lee Byung-hun first rose to fame as a youth icon, starring in a string of hit dramas like Tomorrow Love, Asphalt Man, White Nights 3.98, and Happy Together. Though he's become a more seasoned and grounded actor over time, Lee showed exceptional talent from the very beginning. In the 1999 short drama Sunflower, which aired over just 2 episodes, he played a deeply unsettling character, a stalker with multiple personalities. More than 2 decades have passed, but the final scene remains unforgettable. His portrayal of obsessive, distorted love was haunting and heartbreaking. And in the very same year, he gave us something completely different. In The Harmonium in My Memory, he played a naive countryside schoolteacher, innocent to the point of being adorably awkward. It was hard to believe the 2 characters were played by the same person.
스승님, 저것은 나뭇가지가 움직이는 겁니까? 바람이 움직이는 겁니까?
His calm, deep-toned voice is one of his powerful tools, a signature element of his screen presence. Even in silence, there's weight. In the sway of the branches, in his aching voice. You feel it. Something is coming. Voices like his, deep, calm, clearly articulate, are often perceived as intelligent, competent, and sincere.
세상을 살면서 인생을 걸 만한 승부는 많지만 지금 나한테 소중한 건 한 사람을 사랑하는 겁니다.
What makes you think that could work?
Most recently, in the Netflix animated film K-pop Demon Hunters, he voiced both the Korean and English versions.
If you really believed her,
Even just one line from him can shift the whole energy of a scene.
보고 싶었어.
That's the power of his voice. Cool, calm, and quietly commanding.
Funny. Yeah, so we had a lot of fun with him.
Lee Byung-hun was already at the forefront of the Korean wave. In the early 2000s, in Japan, his growing fan base even coined a nickname for him, Hyun-sama. Already a rising star in Korea, he became a true K-wave icon when Beautiful Days became a huge hit in Japan, thanks to his expressive acting and sharp, charismatic looks. And finally, in 2003, Lee's popularity exploded with this role in the legendary drama All In. Inspired by real-life gambler Cha Min-soo, this drama reached a peak rating of 47.7%. Nearly half the country was watching.
노름꾼이라고 자랑이라도 하라고.
He played In-ha, an orphan who rises from nothing to become a world-class poker champion and businessman.
Aces full. Wins. Congratulations.
Lee brought emotional depth to the role through his eyes, cold and warm at once, capturing pain, ambition, and resilience of the character with remarkable control. Despite constant misfortune, Ina never becomes bitter, and Lee never lets the performance lose its humanity. In every episode, his eyes held the quiet loneliness and exhaustion of a man simply enduring, and the only thing keeping him going was love. There's no single standout scene because from beginning to end, Lee was In-ha. After All In, Lee went on to build an even more spectacular career on the big screen, becoming one of the rare stars to conquer both television and cinema.
Like everybody, this movie influenced
Though
me
he picked
a
up
lot
English
since
later
I
in
was
his
a-
life, his dedication paid off.
My character is so serious, but at the same time, my character gives a lot of laugh to audience.
I've been hanging out with her for 10 years. Never seen her that happy. I love him. At the same time, I hate him.
He now speaks comfortably with confidence and clarity, as seen in
mom's
interviews
friend
and talk shows.
brought me some application for, and I got picked at the time.
No wonder he was one of the first Korean actors to break into Hollywood.
He has excellent English, terrific, and he's so meticulous and so prepared and fun to be around too. But he's a very serious actor.
Byung-hun has like such an amazing charisma, sort of the Korean Cary Grant. When you see him on film, he just sort of steals every scene, and he's kind of almost everybody's favorite character in this movie.
아버지랑 나랑 되게 친했어.
Lee Byung-hun's love for film began with his father, an avid film watcher. They would spend hours watching movies together. Although he passed away, years later in Red 2, Lee found a way to honor him. A photo of the two appears on screen, and in the credits, his father's name is listed just beneath his own. Lee would go on to appear in several major Hollywood films. He appeared in G.I. Joe, Terminator Genesis, The Magnificent Seven, Misconduct, sharing the screen with legends like Al Pacino. But the roles didn't always reflect his full potential. Hollywood often cast him as the villain or sidelined him into supporting parts. Lee Byung-hun once said, "It's not about being physically alone, it's the loneliness of being a stranger, the only outsider for months at a time."
Yeah, so I'm so happy with it.
But it hasn't stopped him from working, and he's never stopped delivering. And now, more than ever, it's time for Hollywood to see what Korea has known all along.
Even talking with him for a few minutes, he's inventing things that I can't wait to see.
Lee Byung-hun is a world-class actor,
So
capable
he would
of
be
so much
different,
more.
I guess. So that made me so excited.
In Korea, Lee Byung-hun is what Daniel Day-Lewis is to Hollywood, an actor's actor. He disappears into roles and reshapes the screen. And yet, in Hollywood, we've barely scratched the surface. He could lead a psychological thriller or a crime drama, or redefine the anti-hero as a tortured genius, a political schemer, or an immigrant father. In 2000, Joint Security Area introduced a forbidden friendship between South and North Korean soldiers along the DMZ. But when duty and loyalty collide, the cost is irreversible. And so is the tragedy. JSA is a hauntingly sad film, leaving behind a bitter aftertaste and a heavy heart. The film sparked discussions about inter-Korean relations and the human cost of division. For many international audiences, JSA was their first exposure to Korea's DMZ and the emotional complexity of the peninsula's divide. For Lee Byung-hun, it was the role that changed everything, the performance that made critics and the industry finally take him seriously as an actor. Lee Byung-hun said in an interview that JSA was the first time he truly felt like a movie star. He was in disbelief. He went back to the theater nearly 40 times to watch it. Even today, when he introduces himself overseas, JSA is the film he mentions first. The following year, in Bungee Jumping of Their Own, Lee plays a teacher who starts to believe that one of his male students is the reincarnation of his lost love. Following the success of JSA, Lee reportedly received over 40 scripts, and this is the one he chose. In a time when the Korean society was far less open, this story still found its way into people's hearts. Because it wasn't just about who you love, but how deeply. It was a role that could have easily been misunderstood or mishandled, but Lee brought it to life with honesty, subtle emotions, and care. The film remains a cult classic. Then came what might just be his most iconic noir, A Bittersweet Life. Lee plays Sun-woo with cold precision and quiet fury. His eyes say everything. Heartbreak, restraint, and a storm just waiting to break. A man brought down by pride and nearly broken by the director. For this scene, Lee was left hanging from the ceiling, wet and freezing, for 12 hours straight. When he teared up from the cold, the director told him that was exactly the face he was looking for. For 2 weeks, he filmed in the pouring rain in nothing but a t-shirt, drenched by nearly 100 tons of water. He later said it was harder than filming 10 movies put together, but also said it paid off as the movie became a cult classic and put him on the map globally. And just when he caught his breath, the director once again put Lee through the ringer in the good, the bad, the weird. This time in the blistering Gobi Desert. From horseback chases to explosive stunts, it was physically grueling. But Lee's elegant, menacing turn as Chang-yi made it all worth it. Lee Byung-hun admitted it was an incredibly tough shoot, but expressed deep respect for director Kim, saying he's someone he can completely trust. In Once in a Summer, Lee Byung-hun delivers one of his most heartfelt romantic performances, a film about lost love caught in the shadows of a turbulent past. What could have been a flat role becomes vivid in his hands. Seogyung is not perfect, and that's what makes him relatable. Lee captures the awkwardness and wonder of first love with such honesty, it pulls you back to a simpler, more innocent time. It's the love many of us secretly hope for, but rarely find. Lee once said his favorite film growing up was Cinema Paradiso, because of the lasting feeling of bittersweet nostalgia. And Once in a Summer is filled with exactly that. He worked with a director to transform a cold, cynical character into someone full of life. Lee Byung-hun is an actor with incredible range. He moves effortlessly across genres, from romance and gangster films to historical dramas and action. While many assume he's a method actor, he's actually often described as more of a technician, someone who breaks down a character with precision and builds a performance through highly controlled technique. His acting style has been compared to the likes of Christian Bale, Kevin Spacey, and Ralph Fiennes. A film critic once said, Lee isn't the type of actor who disappears so deeply into a role that the audience forgets who he is. But another critic argued that with Inside Men, Lee Byung-hun evolved, maintaining his technical mastery while adding emotional depth. Another one of Lee Byung-hun's most iconic roles, Inside Men, was a box office hit, pulling over 7 million viewers despite its R rating. The film delivered unforgettable lines and scenes, but it was Lee's An Sang-gu who truly stole the spotlight. The role inspired countless parodies. In this gritty political thriller, An is a gangster working in the shadows, brokering corrupt deals between politicians, conglomerates, and the media. He's ruthless and ambitious, but also fiercely loyal to those he trusts. Terrifying one moment and disarmingly gullible the next, his mix of menace and vulnerability makes him unpredictable and strangely endearing. His ever-changing look throughout the film only adds to the intrigue. Inside Men is a masterclass in revenge, starring Korea's finest actors. But at the heart of it all is An Sang-gu, one of the most charismatic and memorable anti-heroes in Korean cinema. When it comes to Lee Byung-hun, there's one kind of scene he always nails: eating scenes. Yes, the man can act, but he can also eat. And he's brilliant at it. He eats with purpose, with emotion, and with style. Same food, but depending on the character, the mood, or who's across the table. It's a totally different vibe. Absolutely spectacular. In historical dramas, actors often risk blending into familiar tones or character types, but not Lee Byung-hun. In Memories of the Sword, Masquerade, and The Fortress, he delivers 3 completely distinct performances. Especially in Masquerade, where he plays a dual role, Kim Kwang-hae and his look-alike street performer Haseon. Lee differentiates the two so subtly and clearly that viewers can tell who's who from a single glance, even without dialogue. The story centers around a paranoid king who hires a commoner lookalike to take his place during a time of political chaos and assassination threats. But it's far more than just a double role. Lee has to play the real king, Haseon pretending to be the king, and Haseon slowly becoming a true king in spirit, each with different physicality, tone, and inner life. He pulls it off flawlessly. Director Chu said, "If I ask Lee to shed a tear from his left eye, he'll cry from the left." Lee Byung-hun's son, who thought of his dad as a meme star on social media, watched this movie with him in theaters and ended up crying his eyes out. This is because Lee Byung-hun isn't just a serious actor, he's a natural-born entertainer. Despite being a screen legend, he's done TikTok-level meme faces on Korean variety shows. He's hosted Saturday Night Live Korea, nailed hilarious skits, and even showed off some unexpectedly impressive dance moves on stage. He's got talent, he's got timing, and yes, he's got the memes. Plenty of them. Turns out, this A-list actor doesn't mind laughing at himself, and we love him more for it. He portrays life as we know it, in all its complexity, through unforgettable characters that feel as real as the people around us. Even the most unimaginable characters feel strikingly real, like someone you might know. And he's not slowing down. This fall, He returns in the black comedy thriller No Other Choice, based on Donald Westlake's novel The Axe. Lee has described the role as one driven by desperation and madness, a husband and father pushed to the edge. Whether he's making us laugh, cry, or sit in stunned silence, Lee Byung-hun reminds us what great acting can do. Move us, challenge us, and stay with us. Thanks for hanging out with us. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And please drop your thoughts in the comments. See you very soon.